Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Friday evening. It's lovely now outside, so hopefully it's going to be nice for the weekend. I hope you had a lovely week. And today's class is about finding our energy to really enjoy the weekend with. So as always, throughout the practice, listen to your body. Only do what feels right for you today. If you have any questions or if there's any poses that you find challenging, you can always send me a question either directly through Messenger or put it on the video link here. So always happy to answer any questions you might have, or indeed if there's any areas you'd like me to focus on, just let me know. We're going to start sitting up today. So find yourself a nice comfortable way of sitting. So it might be with your legs crossed, or maybe you like to kneel on your legs, or maybe you like them straight out. Whatever suits you, do, because we'll be here for a couple of minutes. I'm on a block. If you like to use a block or a book, a hardback book, it can just help to lift the hips up and then or lift the pelvis up and open out the hips. So make yourself comfortable. And as you're sitting, just close your eyes and tune into your seat bones. And think about sitting up nice and tall from your seat bones. So your shoulders are over your hips, your chest is nice and open. And still with the eyes closed, let's just begin to come into the moment. So letting go everything that's going on in your life and in the world. Giving yourself permission to stay in the present, to stay in the moment. And just connecting here with that connection point you have either with your block or with the earth. Just feeling into your seat bones and feeling that nice long spine reaching up through the length of your back, through your neck, and up through the crown of your head. And just allowing your attention now to move to your breath, breathing in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Allowing the belly to fill as you inhale, and to expand and to contract as you exhale. And just taking your right hand, put your two index finger and middle finger just in between your eyebrows. And we're going to do, we haven't done this before in this practice, we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So let me demonstrate to you what we're going to do, and then you can give it a go. So the first thing you will do with your two fingers in your eyebrow center is you're going to block with your thumb your right nostril and breathe in through your left nostril. And then you're going to switch fingers, let your fourth finger close the left nostril as you exhale through the right nostril. So you take your thumb away. And then we're going to breathe in through that open right nostril and switch fingers so the thumb closes the right nostril and open up the left nostril as you exhale. and then inhale through the left nostril. So we're going to take 5 breaths like that. You don't need to be deeply breathing, nice soft breathing, but just letting each nostril work alternately. And when you're ready, you can just let your hand come down, flutter open the eyes, and hopefully that breathing technique just brings a lot of calmness to you and really brings you into the present. It's a fantastic technique, I think, to just calm the mind, slow everything down. And from here, now that we're in the present and nice and relaxed, hopefully, let's just take a little turn to the left. So putting your right hand onto your left thigh, let's just take a turn to the left. And as we turn, think about, as you inhale, finding length in that spine, and as you exhale, going a little deeper into that twist. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. Remembering to keep your face in line with your chest, so that it is your chest you're turning, your whole upper torso. And then we're going to come back to the center and just close your eyes. Allow it to settle. And taking your right leg, let it stretch out in front of you, crossing your left leg over the right. We're going to take that right elbow, put it onto the back of that left leg, and this will just help us. Using this lever here of our arm and leg will help us to go a little deeper into that twist. Let's take 3 breaths here. These twists are so good for mobility in the spine, and also for opening the chest, and for your whole digestive system, which is getting a little squeeze. And coming back to the center, just let that left leg, the left foot come against the right thigh. And from here, you can bend this right knee as much as you need to. Let's just lean forward with the chest towards the thigh. So remember, you haven't warmed up your legs yet. So absolutely have this leg as bent as you need to. Really what we're trying to do here is bend from the hip, keeping that chest nice and open as we come forward into the forward fold. Good. And coming back up, let's take that to the other side. So just putting that left hand onto the right leg, taking that twist with the upper body to the right. Keeping that length in the spine. So as you inhale, finding length, and as you exhale, taking that twist a little deeper. 2 more breaths here. And coming back to center. Let's this time let the left leg come out straight, stepping that right leg across. And again, putting the left arm against the back of the right leg to bring that twist a little deeper. And you'll feel this in the outside of your right leg. And that's good. Not pain, just stretch. And one more breath here. And coming back to center, just letting your body settle for a minute. And bringing that right foot up against the left leg, keeping the foot flexed on the left leg. No matter how bent you have that leg, keep that foot flexed as we bend forward from the hips, chest leading into your forward fold on this side. And by all means, if you want to begin to lengthen out that leg, do, but just work within your body, within its range, whatever that is today. And one more breath. And walking all the way back up again. Good. Let's just move the block to one side. And sitting up tall now on the mat, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And from here, we're going to twist to the left, bringing both hands behind us as we reach our forehead towards the earth. So we're still keeping those feet pointing upwards. And if you find that difficult, you don't have to go so deep. So just take it a little bit to the left side. Good. And coming all the way up, sitting up tall. Let's take that over to the right side. So again, the chest and forehead coming towards the earth. And one more breath here. Nice opening of the shoulders here. And coming all the way up. Good, and now we're going to open the legs out nice and wide as we start to get a little bit of stretch into the inside of the legs. So again, sitting up tall, feel free to bend those knees if it's more comfortable. And we're going to begin to just walk out with the hands. So watching here, we want to keep that length in the spine. So let's try and inhale, lengthen the spine, and then just lower the chest on the exhale towards the earth. So just watch here. I'll show you a sideways view of what we don't want. So we don't want to be rounding to get down. It's better to be up quite high with a nice long back and straight spine rather than rounding to get lower. So chest moving towards the ground. Good. And using the hands, if you like, to help you walk it out a little bit. When you find your point, let's stay here for 3 breaths. Once you're here, relax into the pose. Using your breath to help you, inhaling, finding length. Exhaling, just softening into the pose. And again, inhaling, finding that length and space. And exhaling, softening into the pose one more time. Inhale, finding that length. Exhaling, softening into it. Good, and walking the hands all the way back. Let's flip it around to all fours. So as always, checking in here with your alignment. So we want those knees directly under the hips, feet straight back behind you where you can't see them. Shoulders over the wrists, little micro bend in the elbows, fingers open nice and wide, almost clawing into that mat. And we'll do a couple of cat-cows to get that spine nice and loose and free. So inhaling as we dip the belly, tilt the pelvis, open the chest, and gaze forward. And exhaling as we round through the tailbone, all the way up through the spine, through the neck to the crown of the head. And sinking it with your breath. Inhaling on the cow, exhaling on the cat. Let's do 3 more of those, really tuning into your spine here and how it feels as it transitions from one extreme to the other. And then meeting back in neutral spine. So our next pose is familiar to you, but we need to engage our core to really achieve balance in this pose. So just to give you a sense of engaging the core, first of all in our neutral spine, inhale into your belly. And as you exhale, lift your pelvic floor, bring your belly button in and up towards your rib cage, and think about bringing the sides of your waist in. And then inhale, allowing the belly to expand, and exhale, engaging that core from the pelvic floor all the way through. So bringing that belly button in and up, sides of the waist inward. To really get a sense of it, you can just lift your knees up off the floor here momentarily, and you'll feel your core very engaged when you do that. So if you can think about keeping that core engaged like that in our next pose, which, as I say, is the pose you're very familiar with, those of you that practice often with me, but definitely engaging the core helps with this. So stretching that right leg out nice and long, push out through the heel. Let's just get a bit of length into that leg now. And lifting it up, keeping those toes pointing towards the earth. We want the leg just up at hip height. And we're going to lift up our left arm and hold it out. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Micro bend in that right elbow. And thinking about engaging the core to just help you find that stillness. Good, and let's bring it all back to the center and take it over to the other side. So once again, pushing out with that left leg, push out through the heel, lifting the leg up, toes pointing towards the floor, stretching the right hand out, a little micro bend in that left elbow. Gaze stays on the mat in front of you. And engaging that core on the exhale to help bring stability. Good, and bringing it all back down. From here, keeping those knees just a little bit apart, we're going to sit back onto our heels. So sitting up tall here, nice long spine, and we're going to do a little flow into a dog. So from here, raising the arms up, let's come forward onto all fours. Curl the toes, push the hips back, and lift up into your dog. It's your first dog. Go easy on yourself. Bend your knees, keep the heels above the floor, and just pedal through. And when you're ready, find your point of stillness.
And let's come down again. So coming down onto all fours. And then open out the feet, sitting back. Raising the arms up. And hands down on tops of your legs. So let's run through that a couple of times. From here, raise the arms up. Coming forward to your tabletop. Curling the toes, hips back, pushing up into your dog. Hips pointing back towards the back of the mat. Good, and bending the knees to come back to your tabletop. And sitting back down onto your heels, raise the arms up and bring them down by your sides. And again, raising the arms up into your tabletop. Curling the toes, hips coming back, lifting up into your downward dog. Knees coming down, so we're back in tabletop. Sitting back, arms up, hands down. Good, last time. Arms coming up into your tabletop, curling the toes, hips back into your dog. We're going to stay here in our dog. So fingers nice and wide here. Thinking about the elbows being, or the elbows pointing downwards, so the shoulders are nice and broad. Good. This pose is one of the most energizing poses. Your whole body is inverted. I'm sure you can feel the stretch from your heels all the way up the back of your legs, all the way down your spine and down your arms. So it's like the whole outside of your body getting stretched. Let's here take the right hand and reach towards the left toe. It doesn't matter where you get to. It doesn't matter if your knees are bent and your heels are up. Keep the spine long and reach the hand through. And placing the hand back where it belongs, let's reach with the left leg. No, the left hand. Gosh, we're really in trouble if we're getting my legs and hands mixed up. And putting the left hand back. Once again, let's reach with the right hand. And back. Let's reach with the left hand. And back. Good. And from here, let's just walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Bending the knees as we come all the way up to stand in mountain pose. Good. So, as we stand here, let's just check in with our alignment. Looking down at the feet, are they in a nice straight line? Equal weight on both feet. Standing up tall, engage the quads. Open out the chest. Allow the palms to face forward, thinking about the hips over, the shoulders over the hips over the heels, the ears over the shoulders. Everything in a nice straight line. And remembering as you exhale here, engage the core by lifting the pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Finding length and space in that inhale. Good. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit taller. Let's run through a couple of sun salutes on each side. So raising the arms up. And let's sweep forward into a forward fold. And halfway lift, keeping that gaze on the floor in front of you. And forward fold, right leg steps back, dropping the knee, open the foot, low lunge. And hands down, either side of that foot to step back into your plank. And coming down, knees feet, elbows in, chest down. Roll through to a cobra, keeping the gaze on the floor in front of you, pushing back into your tabletop and up into your downward dog. And getting that right foot up to the top of the mat, whatever way works for you. Stepping it through
To come into a low lunge on this side.
and hands down, stepping the back foot up to meet the front, bend the knees.
Coming all the way up. Good. Let's take that on the other side. Arms out.
Forward fold. And halfway lift, nice long spine. Forward fold, left leg goes back
For a low lunge.
and hands down either side, stepping back into your plank and coming down, knees, feet, chest, cobra, and through tabletop up into your downward dog. Stepping that left foot up to the top of the mat.
Coming into your low lunge.
And stepping that right foot forward, bend the knees.
Coming up to stand. Good. Let's take it one more time on each side. Arms up, sweeping down.
Forward fold.
Halfway lift.
And forward fold, right leg back, low lunge. And stepping back into your plank and coming down through your knees, feet and chest into your cobra and through your tabletop to your downward dog. Getting that right leg up to the top of the mat.
For a low lunge.
And stepping it forward, knees bent.
Coming all the way up. Good. Arms up, sweeping down, forward fold. And halfway lift. Forward fold, left leg goes back. Low lunge.
And through your plank to a little cobra and up through tabletop to your downward dog. Stepping that left foot up to the top of the mat.
Low lunge.
And all the way up
To standing. Good. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm and full of energy after that.
Let's go from here to the long side of the mat. Toes pointing towards the front. Opening those legs out
Nice and wide as they can go.
And with your hands on your hips, we're going to reach forward with the chest.
So think about the chest leading. We want a nice long straight spine. So to help keep that spine nice and long rather than rounding, bring those elbows back as though they want to touch each other behind. Feel what that does? It brings your shoulder blades back. It opens out the chest and just helps that spine to stay nice and long as you come forward. Feel free to bend those knees if you want to as you come into your forward fold. And when you're ready, you can take your hands off your hips, putting them onto the mat. Find your point here. So you may take it to the edge, but don't over push it. So to make this pose a little more challenging, you can think about walking your hands backwards between your legs, all the way back as far as they'll go. And when you're at your point, wherever that is, you can hold it here. And let's move into the present moment of the pose.
So relax into the pose, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose, lifting your pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up to bring a little bit of core engagement in. One more breath. And wherever you are in the pose, begin to just walk the hands out to a comfortable place. Bend those knees, heel, toe, the feet together, keeping the knees bent. And make your way all the way up. Coming to the top of the mat. Reaching those arms up. Let's sweep down, swan diving into a forward fold. And halfway lift, nice long spine. And forward fold. We're going to step the right leg back here as far back as it can go. So step it back wherever it is. Can you get it back another millimeter? Can you get it back another millimeter? And when it is where it is, drop the knee. Open out the foot. Check in with your front leg. So your left leg, we want that left knee over the left ankle. Nice equal weight spread across the whole of your left foot. From here, rise up, just putting your hands onto your left leg. So hopefully your right leg is back a bit further than it was in the sun salute for your low lunge. You're just bringing a little bit more effort into that stretch. And from here, let's raise the arms up and raise the gaze up. One more breath. And allow the hands to come down either side of the foot, curling that back foot and lifting the knee up off the floor. So now we've got a nice long stretch in that right leg all the way back, keeping that left knee over the left ankle. Your torso is away from this left leg. So we're in our runner's pose here. A runner's lunge. Like we're about to sprint the 100 meters. Usain Bolt style. And now we're going to hop that right foot forward a little bit until we can get it flat on the mat. We want to shift so we've got equal weight in both of our feet now. Keeping that left knee bent. We're going to rise up into our warrior one. On our way up, check in with the hips. We want to square them. So your right hip is going to want to be going backwards. Just square it up so it's in line with the front of the mat. That you'll feel a little bit of an extra stretch on that back leg as you square it up. Raising the arms up. Soften the shoulders. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Relax into the pose. Finding length in the inhale, stability and strength in the exhale as you lift that pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up. Good. And let's bring the arms out into a T here. One more breath. And we're going to come forward and we're going to this time bring both hands inside that left leg. Let's walk that left foot out to the edge of the mat. And step the right leg back once more, putting the knee onto the floor. Open out the foot for a lizard pose. So you've got choices here. You can stay like this, or you can come down onto your right forearm, or you can come down onto both forearms if you can. You can stay here, or you can lift that leg up, lift the knee up off the floor. You can stay here, or if you like to bring a bind in, you can take that left hand, hook it through the leg, wrap it around, grab a hold of the right hand for a nice bind. Let's take 3 breaths here. Keeping the gaze on the mat in front of you. Ease into the pose, wherever you are in it. Good, and unbinding if you're in a bind, coming up onto the hands. We're going to step that right foot all the way up to the top of the mat. Heel toe the feet together. We want the toes together, the heels a little bit apart. We're going to sit down into our chair, rise the torso up. Let's bring the hands together in prayer here. Now let's raise the arms up. And on that exhale, lifting the pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up. And let's stand all the way up, bringing the hands into prayer. Good. So hopefully your right leg is feeling really stretched and ready to run a marathon. Let's do the same to the left. So from here, raising the arms up, let's sweep down into a forward fold. As our feet are together, let's just step them apart so that they are hip distance apart. And now we're going to step that left leg back, wherever it is. Move it back another millimeter. And another millimeter. Dropping the knee. Open out the foot. Check in with that right leg, right knee over right ankle. Equal weight spread across that right foot. Let's just rise up to put our hands onto the right leg. Opening out the chest here, nice long spine. And then let's raise those arms up and the gaze up into our low lunge. 3 breaths. Remembering on that exhale, lift the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Keeping the shoulders soft. Good. And from here, hands down either side of the foot, curling the toes of that left foot as we come up into our runner's lunge. So this pose is very much determined by your skeleton, how long your arms are. So if your arms are very long, you might be able to have them straight down on the floor. My arms are quite short, so I actually need to be up on the fingertips so that my torso isn't resting on my right leg. Looking forward, preparing for the sprint. And 1 more breath. Good, let's hop that left foot forward so we can put it flat down on the floor. And rising up, hands onto the hips, square the hips. Equal weight in both feet, check down. So my feet are too close, my stance is too narrow, which knocks me off on stability. So your feet need to be hip distance apart. And opening up the shoulders. Let's raise the arms up. And take 3 breaths here. Really being present in this pose, feeling it. Good. And bringing the hands
hands onto the hips as we allow the torso to come forward. We're going to bring both hands down inside that right leg. Step that left leg back. From here, think of all your choices. So you can always also, don't think I said this last time, you can always let that foot lift, the right foot lift, if that makes it easier. So dropping that left knee onto the floor to start with, staying here, or coming down onto one forearm, the left forearm, or coming down onto both forearms. Or if you like from here, lifting the knee up off the floor. Or if you want to bring in a bind, putting that right hand through the right leg and holding onto it with the left hand. Keeping that gaze on the mat in front of you. Wherever you are in the pose, becoming part of it. One more breath. And unraveling the bind if you're in it. Lifting that knee up off the floor and stepping the left foot up to meet the right. Heel toe them together, toes meeting, heels a little bit apart. Bending those knees as you sit into your chair. Bringing the torso up into prayer. On that exhale, engaging the core, lifting the pelvic floor, bring the belly button in and up. And raise the arms up for 3 breaths. Good, and straightening the legs, coming all the way up. Letting the hands come down by your sides, stepping the feet out to hip distance apart. Open the palms out. And let's take 3 breaths here. As you inhale, let the hands, the arms move away from the body. As you exhale, let them softly drift back. Good, and from here, raising those arms up. Let's come forward into a forward fold. And let's step back here, right leg back, and then your left, and take a little rest. That's all your standing poses done. And from here, just coming up onto all fours. You might need to move back on the mat like I did to have a little bit of space. We want to keep those hips over the knees. We're going to come down onto our forearms. And then bring your forehead to the floor. Allow those arms to come out long in front of you. So we're in our puppy dog pose. Really finding that length in the spine here. How your spine feels in this pose is really what you're looking for in your downward dog. That nice length that you feel here with the shoulders nice and open and broad. Not running up towards your ears as they can often do in downward dog. One more breath. And
And just allowing the forearms to come to the earth as you lower your body down into a nice little Sphinx pose, a nice gentle back bend. Looking up in front of you, just like that Sphinx in Egypt. Thanks, Alan. My geography's coming on. Just feeling that length in the spine. As you're here, think about engaging the core in this pose. And now let's lower all the way down so the forehead is on the floor. Bring those hands back so they are either side of your chest, elbows in and towards your hips. So just feel what that does to your shoulders. Let the elbows come out. Then tuck them in so they're like little wings coming in, and then push them down towards your hips and feel how your shoulders now are nicely together, the shoulder blades. Your chest is open, and it just keeps your shoulders nice and protected in this cobra. So we're going to inhale and we're going to lift the chest up, keeping the hands very light on the mat. Lifting up the chest, keeping that core engaged. Gaze stays on the mat. One more breath here. And lowering all the way down. And on your next inhale, once again, lifting up into your cobra. Letting your core help you here. One more breath. And allowing the forehead to come all the way down to the ground. And pushing yourself gently up onto all fours. Let's just take that right knee and bring it up to the right wrist. Walking the right foot across in front of the left leg. And then we're going to let that left leg walk back a bit as we come all the way down onto our forearms and your forehead. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. If you feel any tightness, any tension anywhere, just allow the breath to drift there. And then making your way back up onto all fours. We are going to just take that to the other side. So that left knee coming up to the left wrist, walking that left foot across in front of your right knee, stepping the right leg back and coming all the way down to your forearms and, if you can, your forehead. As we take 5 more breaths here. Becoming really involved in the pose.
again, coming up onto all fours, sitting back, moving around, and just coming to lie down with your knees bent, feet on the floor, and just let your knees open and close and rock from side to side. And coming to stillness, lifting those feet up, hugging the knees into the chest, and here just gently massaging your lower back and your upper back. Just moving whatever way your body dictates to you. And letting those feet drift down onto the mat as you come to lie out straight, palms facing upward as we prepare for Shavasana. And as you settle into it, I want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you enjoyed that practice and that you're feeling energized after it. We are here live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6. We're also doing a little test live practice on Sunday for a new system we're testing out. So we would love if you would come along at 12:30 on Sunday, Alan? Yes, 12:30 on Sunday for a 20-minute short live practice. Lovely way to get yourself started on a Sunday, easy like Sunday morning. The link is on Facebook. So sign up for it. You will need to sign up for it and register. But it's free, and we would love to have you along and love to hear your feedback on it. So let me now bid you a namaste for now. Have a fabulous weekend as I invite you now to just totally relax and let go. Letting go your toes and the soles of your feet and the tops of your feet. Letting go your ankles, your calves and shins, your knees. Letting go the fronts and backs of your thighs, the whole of your legs. Just letting it go. Letting go your glutes, your whole pelvic area, the small of your back, your belly, your rib cage, front and back, your chest, shoulder blades, shoulders, the whole of your torso, just letting it go. Letting go your armpits, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, backs of the hands, palms of the hands, fingers, the whole of your arms, just let it go. Letting go the back of your head, the crown of your head, your forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, jaws, chin, lips and tongue. Just let it all go. The whole of your body, just let it all go. And allowing your inner gaze to fall towards your heart center. And letting your attention move to your breath
as you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. And taking time here to be grateful to yourself, to all of us practicing together, and for everything you have to be grateful for today. With that attention on the breath, noticing how you inhale into your body, into your belly, and exhale through the nose. And thinking of each inhale as an inhale of energy. And as you exhale, you're spreading that energy throughout your whole body. Inhale the energy into your body. Exhale it through every part of your body.